Evening, everyone. Only my second live stream, so I actually can't tell if anyone's actually here. So some of you may watch this on in the morning. Apologies about the hour for those of you on the East Coast. I watched some playoff baseball first, and getting started here. So we are. Oh, hey, J Train. Thank you for watching. We are going to be doing some testing, maybe some scenery on what's called the Great Plains Industrial District area of the Fall River Division. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Probably about an hour, and then it'll be around 10:30 Eastern. But maybe longer. We'll see how it goes. And I'm watching the chat on the side. I'll get to questions or comments or anything as we go. So hope you all enjoy. And for those of you on, thanks for joining tonight. So the Great Plains Industrial Park is something that John added to the layout really after the initial design. It's not even in the track plan if you go on his website, but I saw it in some pictures and then some videos of people who visited the route, and it really bothered me that I didn't have it in the route. So how we've built this, and I covered this a little bit in the last live stream, is off of the control point here at East Fall River, there's going to be just a turnout, and then we're going to turn to which would at this point be Railroad South, and then just with this track only being for the Great Plains Industrial Park. So still a decent amount of scenery work to do here. Track work's done, got the buildings more or less down, and I think probably the most important thing, at least for me when I'm building, is getting the buildings down, and then I think what's really underrated is getting the roads down. Because as you look and set up scenes, all the stuff for these industries, all the truck traffic, all the employees, they need roads to get in and out. And so that was actually one of the more challenging things, is just trying to figure out how to interconnect the Fall River road system with the industrial park. So this kind of three-way intersection doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I tried to bleed it into it, but basically we've got one of our major arteries over the river that'll come into the industrial park, and then a bunch of basically T intersections. May put some traffic lights up, but for now just put some stop signs down. So you've got a couple ways to get in and out of the industrial park. Obviously this is the main artery down to this side of Fall River, which is our waterfront area. And then don't have a great way visually to get back into town, so I may have to add that, or potentially, access to the intermodal hub over here. So some work to do on the roads out, but in terms of the roads in the industrial park is what we're going to be doing. So in terms of the industries, there's going to be a distribution center here, which is actually not rail served. We'll just put some generic trailers down here. Here is a TBT model. The fascia of the actual route in his basement cuts right through here, but I've just added this building, another dock for some scene filler. This is supposed to be TBT, and done a little bit of scenery here, lay things out, so you'll be able to unlay plastic pellet cars, center beams, with the two outside industries being box cars that'll be unloaded. So my dad was actually here recently, 40-year railroader, actually ran the TBT network for a Class 1, and informed me that this is actually not realistic at all. So, but I'm going to stick to the original design. I guess the rules are on center beam unloading and loading. You have to have access to both sides of the car at all times. And so obviously there's no access over here, even though I have dropped loads of lumber there to the one side of the center beam. So we've got just a little servicing pad here. John models this as kind of a short line operation. He uses an older Jeep. I think it's something like a Jeep 9 aero locomotive to serve, and that's how we're going to operate this here in the simulators. We're going to have this short line working all the industries, and then actually bringing a cut into Fall River Yard, and then bringing one back for inbound cars. So not going to have the BNSF or UP switch this industrial park at all. It's really just a short line operation that'll deliver and pull from Fall River. So I don't know where I got this from, but it's a really cool looking GP40. Really great looking paint scheme on it. I have no idea where I got it from though, but we're going to be using that as our short line power today. And as I said, still a lot of scenery to be done. So we've got this TBT action in the middle, a couple industries on the outside, and then there's a tie plant that's the major industry over here. So at this point, I've just laid out a bunch of ties, created some cover, and have really two forms of products are going to come in here. So you're going to have inbound ties, pre-treated, etc., and then you're going to have inbound chemicals for the creosote process to make them worthy to be used on the railroad. So the session here and everything set up is actually the same as the live stream. So you're going to see a lot of the same trains that are going to be out and running, and they just really create a backdrop for everything else that we're trying to test tonight. So we actually I've set up the local here short line with automated command string to go pull and basically work all the industries, put its train together, and then once it's ready, we'll actually have to go into manual mode and bring it up through into the yard here at Fall River, navigating the yard traffic as it is. So we'll get started here in a second. I think I just need one more track mark, but we may just kind of wing it. And J-Train, thanks for the love. Razor Blazer 34, hello. Good evening to you as well. Freeware 1 from the DLS. Do you know who makes it? That's a dumb question. I should be able to actually look in my own content manager. That was a stupid question. I'll retract it. And yeah, we'll just roll. If anyone wants to know where the actual name of it, it's the Cross Creek Railroad is how it shows. And then yeah, just put some in the chat and I can put the what to search for on the download station. So go and get started. It is morning time when this starts, so I'm gonna turn the game volume down just a hair. So you can see we've got our command string here, and basically I'm doing a bunch of coupling and run around train, etc., to put its local together. I could run it on accelerated mode, but which is typically what I do when I'm testing, just to like save time. But we'll just let this play out and watch some trains too while this thing does its thing. One area that I'll cover in a future, just like side video, is this riverfront area, which this is not, you know, Johnson Railroad's in a basement, and I needed to fill some space between basically the BNSF main and the river, and then fill in this scene. So we have here is we've got the BNSF up here, UP down here in the trench, raising up into Fall River, and then this is the Iowa Interstate, which in John's version is just a diamond over in the Preparation Hill area east of Fall River. Because I have the space, I've gone ahead and extended it. So you basically have this, elevated scene all through the riverfront and Fall River, and then just crossing the river into staging area. But you've got a water, really industrial scene here to indicate areas no longer in use. It's seen better days. We have a just fishing dock, pier here, and then I think there's more. Yeah, and then we've got what's supposed to be like locks for barge traffic. I haven't really figured out what I want to do here. And this is the part, looked a lot in downtown Minneapolis, and which I've covered on previous video, is really an area that I'm taking a lot of inspiration from, to find like scenes that look realistic and bring them into the route where appropriate. So this is just a riverfront park with picnics and whatnot. parking, etc., bike racks, walking paths, but you can create some cool vistas. And this is the nice thing about having the Great Plains Industrial Park added to the route, is that it'll create this nice backdrop where there was just like spline trees in the background. Creates a little more depth of field here, which I'm pretty excited about. So there are Iowa Interstate trains in the session, so we'll see. We'll go see how our local's doing over here. Make sure it's not stuck. Oh, well, I've already lost it. Oh, that's right. I forgot I changed the commands up. So I've tried to operate this a few ways in terms of serving the industry, and the industries in the industrial park. Started with serving the TBT first, and what you end up doing is you just end up at a room on one of these tracks, and the game AI engine can be kind of dumb and act like it can't throw a switch even if you're past the clearance point sometimes. So I've reversed how this local works, the industries. It'll start with the tie plant, put those cars off to the side, and then come back, do the TBT, run around the train, and then be ready, theoretically. So Craig Bishop, hello. Good evening. Join around probably Norfolk 737. I will check out who it is and at the end of the video and put that in here. It does look like a JR model though. This is going to take a second. Everything here is going to be 10 miles an hour, as you can see. We've got that restricted. Got anything coming? All right, so we actually have some action here. I've got train out of Galesburg, just waiting. What's waiting on here is the session set up to allow this pullback job here on the east side of the yard to clear. It's actually going to put together an entire train, 3 different cuts from the class tracks, and then shove and build on top of a DP unit. So once it clears, I think the command string set up right. Should clear for this manifest out of Galesburg to come into the yard. Previously, I think I modeled this as like a BRC train, but I was trying to just change some things around with the session. So the entire consist is actually exactly the same, but change the name on it. There'll be a few trains coming through here, and let's make sure our little one here is progressing. I hate when it acts like it's stuck, even though there's no signals here. I don't understand the game engine sometimes. So there's no signals here. Clear to a shove, and it's gonna kind of, yeah. And now we're going. Just needed a little inspiration and attention, I guess. How's the audio tonight in terms of my microphone? I messed around with it a bunch on the test I did a couple weeks ago. Can you all hear me okay? All right, awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah, so we've got that pullback job in the clear, and got our inbound train here, which will yard in the forwarding receiving tracks, and power to cut away and head to the house. So since the last video, I haven't done really a lot of scenery work. I've just been changing up the operating session. Actually, I had to spend 2 hours rebuilding the entire session because I was mid-session and saved it and didn't realize I'd overwritten the base session. So I was at 5 p.m. on the speed clock, and the session starts at 7 a.m. So I had to put all the trains back, all the locomotives back, and it took about 2 hours. Because 90% of the session is just completely automated. I don't have to touch really a train for it to run, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, that wasn't fun. So, and that annoyed me. So I didn't play the game for a couple days after that. But this will be the next area, fill in with scenery, be done with that. Yeah, thinking I'm gonna just drop a beta of this on the DLS on Halloween, and try and make a lot of progress between now and then. It'll be unsupported, so I'm not gonna have anything on the forums about it or answer any questions about dependencies. Do my best to clean up stuff that's hard to find. Most of this is download station content in terms of the senior items, or easily to find from one of the third-party providers, the primary ones like Join a Railroad Mods, etc. But looking like October 31st, little Halloween drop for a beta version of this, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. This is our pullback job here. This is a GP38. It's a HP Trains pack. Picked up when they did a sale on the train store. I think they look fine. It's hard to find decent BNSF 4-axles that aren't the B40, so I thought it looked okay. This SD40-2 with the remote control and everything is just amazing. It makes me want to do switching. Just absolutely amazing detail, and then you can get the remote control beacon going. Pretty cool. It's old SRS trains, C44, still holding up. Have not gone to the Railroad Mods one yet for that one. I think I have all the other ones though. We've got coal train here. Let's go back and check on our friend. I forgot this is not auto-programmed. So here's one of those shots I was talking about where you can kind of see across. We're actually going to have 3 trains at once, which will be nice. This is, I don't know. So you've got UP empty reefers headed back west. You got an Iowa Interstate and ethanol train here on the High Line. And then you've got an intermodal train inbound. Actually a pretty cool shot. I did not know all 3 of these trains passed at the same time in the session. So does anyone know? I don't understand. Some of the numbering on the locomotive shows up weird in my version of the game. You'll see it here on the trail unit. It like it's red hueish. When I see people's screenshots, it doesn't seem to be the same, and like it's special to me. I don't know if it's just like I have a setting wrong in my performance settings, but it's just some of the locomotive numbering on some of the units just never looks right. And it really stood out on this KCS unit I just bought. Alright, let's see how we're doing. So we're over here. Jeep's going to work. Set aside its 2. Coming back. It's going to pull. And then end up moving up here. Shoving back. Should be ready to go here in a few minutes. And we'll just hope there's a yard track available. Hey Eric, thank you. Thanks for joining tonight. Oh man, a lot going on this morning. I need to do a video of just the morning in Fall River. I really jam-packed it with trains. Yeah, so in this shot in the foreground, we got a Z for Southside Seattle. In the middle, we got a loaded coal train headed for Public Service Company just east of here. And then in the rear, intermodal train out of Kansas City coming in to Fall River. Make sure our yard job is, he needs a switch thrown for him. Some of these commands I set up through autopilot, and then which won't throw switch. Autopilot's a great command though. If you don't have it, you can autopilot to a track mark, it's better than the drive command, in my opinion, if you're trying to like get stuff moving but not have the trains do anything dumb. I'm in 19. I'd like to stay in trains 19. I saw, I'm sure everyone saw Joe's new video, and he's doing Surveyor 2.0 in Trains 22 for that waterfront scene, and it really made me want to buy an upgraded 22. If you haven't, Joe Approach Medium did a really nice video of, I can't remember if it was Grafton waterfront scene, and 2.0 Surveyor just looks amazing. But I'm going to keep this in 19. And then maybe do 22 at some point. I'm always like a version behind. It's just, I hate moving everything, and then if a lot of the community can't use it, then what's the point? So, yeah, Craig, I basically just kind of went nuts putting more and more trains down, and I'll show you all at the end. The session screen in Surveyor is out of control. There's so many commands, lots of auto throwing of switches, had to put down a ton of triggers. Yeah, and sometimes the game just doesn't want to deal with me and just decides to just quit using the commands. It's weird. It's like sometimes I run the session, the trains just get dumb and don't follow what they're supposed to, but that's, I'd say, a rarity. Alright, so we're back here. Pull 1 was executed correctly. Make sure I got the order here right. Subscription. What's new in 22 outside of Surveyor 2.0? Is there much different in the actual game besides that? So we're going to go grab this boxcar, grab this plastics hopper. The change train direction command is super important because it reduces the silliness of the AI a little bit. When you get the locomotive direction face the right way, it tends to make better decisions about how to navigate. Can't trust it to figure out forward and backward by itself. My camera gets stuck like this. It's so annoying. It just does this weird pan thing. And I do not know. I'm able to like sometimes get out of it. Oh god. No, I never use fly cam. Tried your own. Oh, this could be fun. I don't use these other cameras enough. I'm kind of an old school. I've been playing the game since 2006. So I just get used to the standard cameras. This drone thing's actually kind of cool. So from this view, the mountains are all the way over there. I still haven't. I'm gonna gut all those scenes. If you watch the last live stream, I covered that a little bit. I just don't like the way it looks. Yeah. So from this view, you've got yard leads here into the yard. Your switching lead. Got main 1, main 2, and then it actually main 2 splits here for a third track. This is what I call the passenger cutoff. Does not exist in John's track plan, but I was tired of pulling. If you look at the track plan, if the Amtrak train is coming off the BNSF side in the Union Station, it technically has to shove in to get to the platform. And while I thought that was like cool operationally, trying to get the game to do it, I was just like, no. And so built this little passenger cutoff, which is a separate, just we've got to turn out, and then it parallels and basically connects any passenger movement off the westbound, the BNSF, headed west in Union Station without having to do with some weird shove move in. I actually like this drone camera thing. I need to use it more often. Just takes some getting used to, I think. Union Station. I just need to finish this. I've got like random benches and stuff because I just haven't finished the platform areas, but This took me a while to decide what I was going to do to incorporate into the scene because it's at an angle to the rest of the city. Some cool views from this camera. But it does not move fast enough for me, so let's go back and check on our local here. Who's supposed to be the star of the show tonight. Too busy showing everything else. Can you get the AI to blow the horn? Yeah, you can. There's a horn command. So if you want to have it do it anytime it changes directions forward and backwards, you can add a double horn. I think it's a built-in command. I have a lot of stuff. I don't have it actually, but you can add it from the surveyor menu. What I do a lot is, and we'll go over to the Richland Auburn area, is just place the horn. I put horn markers just on the tracks if they're approaching grade crossings, and bell markers as well. You can put on the tracks, which will automatically activate or deactivate the bell, and automatically use the horn on the for whatever the green arrow lead locomotive is. Not much anything. So Surveyor 2.0, I'm gonna pass then for now. I didn't get into Trains 19 until earlier this year. I was still operating on Trains New Era until then. So this is where I'm curious how this goes. So I've got the switch distance set to like nothing, and the switch radius, and it was having issues wanting to shove back onto this tank car. See, now it's, oh no, it's still gotta go. Oh, we still gotta go get the plastics hopper. I don't understand how it makes decisions about where to stop the train. Like, it pulls it all the way back here. Like, there's still two other switches, and I just don't understand. It's fine. It gets the job done, but Dave Snow's always talking about this on the floor. He cannot stand AI in this game. He is always talking about it in his thread, and I get it. I feel you, Dave. So here's our pullback job, which is all automated. So pull this first cut, shove back. That's the one side of it, and then we've got second cut, and it'll go back for a third cut. Train will end right around here when it's done. Not quite enough for clearance point to get the lead power on, but whatever. I like running big trains. Well, all the trains here are like 40 cars, so I guess they're not that big, but we'll check back on our other train here in a second. This is the power from the KC train headed to the house, and then our Z is headed Railroad West. So this scene is like straight off the model railroad at Sage. Basically copied the entire passenger scene as much as I could. Complete kit bashed setup. So you've got this like jointed rail slab, built-in signs, some bus station pieces, some plants. These are built-in stairs that I actually probably need to upgrade. And oh, trees. Complete kit bash though, and then including a handicap platform, which could, well, I guess doesn't look too bad. Yeah, well, that's fine. I haven't touched this area in probably a year and a half. I need to go back through and clean it up. These model railroad backdrops will eventually come down. I just got to figure out how I'm going to expand the scene to either side without driving myself nuts. So we've got Winston, which I completely changed, and actually, well, no, not completely. It's pretty close to the model version. Just added a ton of scenery. This is a new drop. Now it escapes me. Too many third-party sites. It's a freeware station. The erecting hall, I think, is where I got this. It's a cool little building. Adds a little bit of flair, color-wise, and then if you watch any videos about Marias Pass, there's a lot of homage to the Great Northern and predecessor railroads and different setups. So this is something I saw in a video. It was actually like a GN like SW7, which I couldn't find one that looked okay on a download station. So went ahead and found a nice looking Great Northern steam locomotive just to put here, which is supposed to be like a little railroad park ass. So you've got a out of service semaphore. There's that automatic bell I was talking about, Eric. So it's automatically set up on the track on one side of the platform, and then it'll deactivate here in a second. Hopefully right over here. Oh, right on time. Love it when it works right. So still some scenery, well, a lot of scenery to do here, but I do like how this scene turned out. A small concrete industry here, lumber mill. Oh man, we've got royalty in here. WIT Simulations. Welcome. This is the whole mountain area. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Let's go back. We gotta check on our local here. Little short line jobs. This is where I'm gonna talk. I'm telling you, it's not gonna want to throw the switch. And well, it did, but then for some reason, even though there's no signals here, it will not reverse. It will not shove. And I've sat here for 10 minutes and it doesn't do anything. So we're gonna go ahead and take over. Always got to make sure you're facing the right way and checking your turnouts, or bad things happen. Morality? We got to do better than that. So we have everything. So it's just really that one switch that wouldn't throw, but everything else worked automated. So now we are ready to go. We're head towards Fall River, and hopefully there's not too much yard traffic, and Yardmaster is nice enough to give us a signal. So here we go. It's kind of I looked up this. Is there any command to get a beacon going? Like, I'd like to know how to get this going, but that may just be a static object on the locomotive. I know with some of the newer ones, if you right click, you can turn select it to activate it, but I didn't know if there was like a command or like a number to use. Oh, I hear something coming. Oh, here we go. So inbound loaded ethanol. Be crossing over here. So we're going to go ahead and give ourselves a route in here. I just want to see where the pullback job is first. We're going to go ahead and come to a stop here. And see where our other yard job is. And so the idea here, for those of you join later, is with this, we're in the Great Plains Industrial District of the Fall River Division, which is over yonder, and automated some commands to get it to basically work the industries, and now it's ready to bring a cut back to the BNSF, which it will deliver within the yard limits. So I'm going to bring this to a stop. Just check on where the pullback is, because we will have to cross over twice and then head into the class yard here. We're going to be delivering right here on class track number 2, and then escaping out and then back down the thoroughfare. Yes, WIT. It is, how am I doing? I'm good. My wife is 38 weeks pregnant with our 3rd child. And I'm about to have 6 weeks off of work. So, I mean, pretty good. Pretty good. This is, yes, this is modeled off the HO model railroad that NS Modeler visited and basically like broke the model railroad internet a couple years ago. It's John Parker's BNSF Fall River Division. I've expanded the length and size of some things, some depth of scene. The track plan is almost exactly to his track plan. I made a few modifications just because I'm operating it by myself most of the time versus having 20 people in a basement. So but that video really changed. That was very inspiring video when he did it. Just an amazing model railroad. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to follow the pullback job here. So as soon as I throw this, I should get a restricting signal, which I do, and we're going to be ready to go. So we're going to go ahead, play Yardmaster here on crossover. We're going to go right in behind this yard job and sneak into the class track, make a delivery when this 2260 unit is, make sure we throw that on the way back out. Right behind this 2260 unit when it's going a couple to its 3rd pole out of the class yard. So, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead and get going. There's the way the session's set up in terms of mainline flow, there's a ton of activity through Fall River, really just flushing west, and then there's going to be a flood back east because everything sort of has to meet up around the mountain pass, and there's some single track areas up there that really create for operational challenges, so to speak. So I need to download. There's an asset. I know everyone uses. I know Johnny Rail does some EOT stuff on some of their newer cars, and then Clove Ghost does it on all the intermodal cars he has. But there's like a flag asset out there. I remember having way back in the day, maybe in Trains 12. I need to go re-download for moves like this on the rear of the train in daylight hours. So I'm gonna have to go throw a switch here to. Okay, he's taking his sweet time. Perfect. So we'll be able to sneak down here on Class Track 2, no problem. I hate when it stops at the wrong spot. Really bothers me. Which... This is a secondary locomotive pad I put in because I had the space, and and I just, there was, in the sessions I ended up with just like power everywhere, and I was just like need stuff to stick it. I love hub railroading, being around big terminals. First one I got to go to as a kid really made a huge difference. I think I was around 12 years old, and we were driving from Philly down to Atlanta to visit family, and long drive, by the way. And we stopped in Roanoke, and my dad had some connections with, he was with Conrail at the time. It was like 95. 96 at the time. He had some connections at Norfolk Southern, and we were able to go in the yard tower at Roanoke when it was still an operating hump, and there was coal was booming, and man, at night, just so many locomotives, so much traffic going on. It is like a symphony at night. Really, ever since that night, I've just like loved the idea of being around terminals. Never boring. So we're got our little yard job here. We're going to sneak in UP intermodal train that we saw earlier on the mountain. God, camera, I just hate that. Oh, wow, that's way too close. Oh, jeez. I guess we're focused on the yard job. That's why it's, I mean, the shoreline job. That's why it's doing that. After we drop these cars off, we're going to go over to Auburn and Richland and take a look at some of the industries over there. I really like that area. It's a good time. So I got to reline this so this bad boy can keep working, keep building the train. And don't want anything going on that way. We actually have another train in staging. We're going to get activated here. Here it is, my camera again. I don't know what it is. It's like in roaming sometimes. It just wants to act. It like won't let me roll and zoom out. It just gets stuck here. Like I'm rolling so aggressively out, and it just doesn't want to move. So I don't know what the deal is. I'm assuming it's operator error. So I'm just gonna go to map mode. Here's full map. A lot of routes are bigger, but this is by far the biggest one I've ever done. And now I'm stuck again. Like sometimes I just don't understand. We've got, so I would normally just like jump around on map mode here, but it's being silly. So we're headed east here. To the east end of the route. Major grain elevator here. 1 or 2 industries put in. You know, this is like a small thing, but I really like doing it. Is having 2 eras of signals in place. Just shows their transition. Shows there's like things happening. So here we've got some safe trains that are just turned to the side. Invisible track is actually here, and then I've got them set to biscuits, as they say on Bluey. Got it set to like a approach mode, and so they'll never light up because there's no trains. And then here's the current searchlight signals. With these power lines are way too low and would not be okay. Need to fix that. So I'm way off topic now, but this is something I saw. I was out on a work trip, so I think I covered in this last video. I worked for Class 1 Railroad for 15 years, and up until a couple years ago, but took a trip out Kansas City, hit Omaha, North Platte, etc. for work, which is kind of nuts to be able to do. Went to Argentine there on the BNSF, and then popped around UP. But on the drive from Kansas City to Omaha, did some rail fanning, and the lines follow the Mississippi River, and so a lot of the CTC boxes are elevated like 10 feet in the air on a platform to just plan for when the river does flood, which is pretty common. In the low-lying areas, they actually prop up their signal boxes. Any type of electrical equipment is elevated to avoid the flood water. So here, this is actually just a bracket from, I think it's the railroad signal or the Justin Roth ones, and then just put a little box on top of it. So, but because of the proximity to the river, I just thought it was a cool thing to do because it's something I'd seen in the prototype way back. Yes, it was a bracket. Hey Joseph, welcome to the chat. I worked for Norfolk Southern for 15 years. And my dad was in the industry for 40 years and just retired 3 years ago. He worked for Conrail predominantly, and then Norfolk Southern for a few years after the merger. But I grew up in the Philadelphia area. So, Conrail kid. All right, so we've got a vehicle train on Blue Island. This will come into Fall River, be split up for Portland, the MRL, Seattle, etc. Get this puppy rolling. This is the autopilot command I was talking about earlier. The nice thing is you can do a stop at track mark. The one thing with stop at track mark, it will run full speed into that track mark and then try and stop. It will not try and stop itself on the track mark at a nice way. So just one thing to think about. But activates the safe mode. It'll go until there's a red signal. So we're going to go ahead. I forgot to load it up with automobiles. The idea with this train is it's got loaded automobiles from the East Coast coming to Blue Island from CSX, NS, and then are combined into a BNSF Pacific Northwest train that runs into Fall River and then gets split up between, there's a decent sized auto ramp in Laurel, Montana on the former MRL, now back to being BNSF. And then you've got obviously, some densely populated areas in the Portland and Seattle area as well with auto ramps. So that's the idea. It'll come in and get split up, and then traffic being added to manifest trains for the majority. All right, so this is about to finish building this train. I've neglected, I bet you, we are already through. Oh my goodness, where is it? Did I forget to stop our friend? The whole point of this video? Oh, it's gone. I did not stop it. Where is it? Has it derailed? Oh my goodness. Shame on me. That is just... This is going to jack up the whole session. SMR Cat, welcome to the session. Yeah, so I worked for NS for 15 years. I said grew up Conrail kid. Grandmother lived on a Conrail main line, and I didn't do and haven't really done any NS routes because like it was work for 15 years and not like a hobby. So I thought about like doing the Harrisburg area or like the Atlanta area or other hub areas, and yeah, it was just more of a career, and so I've more appeal to areas like I didn't have to deal with for 15 years, like out west, which is why I've been doing a lot of BNSF UP stuff here last couple of years. So I've got to shove all the way back in here. So you got to pay attention. Safety first is giving me errors. Let me know when it's back. I got some weird, I use OBS Studio. It gave me some weird error. It indicates that it's back, but I can't tell if it's back or not. Okay, we're back. I don't know what happened. Like, I got, all of a sudden OBS Studio just said it dropped, and that was it. But glad we're back. Would have been awkward otherwise. Would have been talking to myself for like the next 20 minutes and wouldn't even known. Clearly need to move these plants a little bit. I don't think anything needs to go this way. I'm honestly just going to stop it. We're going to go over to Auburn and check that out. So this is cleared out. We just got to got that vehicle train coming. Line everything in. Track 2 is open. It is. Stop, no problem. What's this waiting for? Yeah, I've had this session going like and been operating it for the last like year that well, not quite that long. Okay, there is something coming. This area sucks. I hate it. It's gonna be completely revamped. I'm not sure when, but I'm watching a lot of videos about Mariah's Pass right now, and just taking a mental note of the scenes I like around some of the like the Bison area and some other control points. But this is completely got to get revamped. Throwing a bunch of trees down and slopes and saying it's mountains is not okay. So, international stacker headed to LPC. Like, this bridge has got to go. Probably got to change the height. It's just a kind of a hot mess right now. Okay, so right across. Okay, that's what ethanol train's waiting on. Okay. Oh, I forgot to throw the switch back here. That's the thing when you kind of ad-lib something that you've automated, is that it doesn't want to listen because you forgot to throw a switch. Where'd the coal train go? Oh no, where is it? So there's a loaded coal train that's supposed to come through here, unload, and go back. I have no idea where it is. We've lost it. I didn't see it over here. I have no idea what happened to it. That's the first time that's ever happened. We're lined in there. Alright, we're going to go over to, if I can get into the right camera mode. It's just not letting me zoom all. There we go. Now it's letting me do it. I'm going to go over here to Auburn. And this is part of the session I've had to revamp a little bit. So everything's going to be jammed up and not working. So quick geography check. We're on the west side of the route. Richland is the western terminus in John's version. So this is Richland. And we got a small yard, little turntable for turning power. The idea is this is like somewhat of a helper base and does some intermediate switching. So I have lost the train. Honestly, that is the first time. I mean, I probably played this session 100 times, and I've never lost the coal train before. I've lost yard jobs that I've like derailed because I wasn't paying attention to where they were, but I've never lost a train. So this is supposed to be a helper set here to help shove this loaded manifest train over the hill, and I'll cover that in another session, the second half, the afternoon portion. Got a little scrap. So this is Auburn. Sorry, I'm just jumping around, not talking enough. So here the main veers to the right to head towards Richland. Otherwise, it heads over in here. This is another short line, for the most part, short line switched set of industries. Sorry, I need some water. Give me a sec. Allergy season down in the south. So we've got a bunch of industries here. Little fertilizer unloading here. We got a little scrap metal customer here, and instead of one of the things I've done is just paid attention to industries and just started using pavement instead of the textures, depending on what's appropriate. So like if it's gravel, I'll use the textures because that's what it looks like. But if it's actually like a paved road, like at a lot of gas stations, to deal with like spill requirements, etc., it's got to be like a slab or somewhere that can direct water to a certain place or to certain drains so that wastewater can be treated differently, etc. So this is when I just put pavement down in some areas, and then gravel in the areas that maybe aren't as refined. But and then added, this is actually not curb, it's the concrete barriers like 1, 2, 3, and just have it way down in the ground. But it makes, I think, for a nice effect of a curb, better than anything else I've found, if you don't want grass attached to it. So we've got a couple switches here, and we've got a big stone industry here, so this is a big deal. Rockman Gravel is what it's called on John's layout, so it's a huge industry. The cars here feed other industries on the route, like concrete, etc. But this is a big deal. So the BNSF will actually, sorry, I saw the SD60s and 60Ms and immediately thought BN instead of BNSF. But the way I'm operating this is that BNSF handles the rock cars, and then a short line handles all the smaller industries over here in Auburn. It's stuck here because I'm like in the middle of reprogramming what does what, but it's programmed for this SW1500 to switch all the industries outside of the quarry, and then basically escape back. And then the idea is the BNSF power takes the stone, loads, couples up to the rest, and then heads towards Fall River. So this industry was completely kit bashed. I have to. The cameras are killing me today. Like, it is just not working right. This conveyor does not look right here, and so I've found some better ones since I built this. But and I've got a little texturing there I got to do. But this is the Rockman Gravel. So I'm using the drone cam now, which has actually worked out pretty well tonight. It's better than whatever issues I'm having with free roaming. RR70 action, like, thank you for subbing. Love a sub. I'd like to get to 1,000. That's like my internal goal. When I started this, it was just to make like videos that people like, but I think 1,000 would be like a good number. Next, Colin Middleburger. We'll go on a survey, Colin. We'll go on a surveyor, and I'll grab the names of them. We'll do that here at the end. Eric Edmonds, nice BM power. So my dad's actually building a BN model railroad in his house right now. So he had built one of Mariah Pass when we were kids that my brother and I basically took over all the rolling stock and ended up putting a bunch of passenger equipment on it because we lived off the Northeast Corridor in New Jersey and didn't care for slow freight trains as young kids. Of course, now we feel very differently, but yeah, he built it. We had to move in 1998 with the split of Conrail. Had to tear the whole thing down, and then he is recently, now he's retired, he's restarted, and he's doing the Seattle area, so towards the Cascades, Seattle East, is what he's modeling in like a 20 by 20 space. So he's got all the bench work up. Just needs to start laying track. So as we continue to move around here, I mean, like I said, I'm using the drone cam here for like the third time. So we have a steel receiver over here, steel coils, which feels out of place. These should really only be around auto manufacturers, but I'm just going with what John had. We've got a little chemical industry here. This is another place where if you're in an industry like this, like, it's going to be slabs. It's not going to be gravel with all the truck traffic. Oh, I hear something. Oh, there it is. There's our Z cutting across the horizon. Yes, we've got chemical industry. And then what I do is I put the splines on the outer edges. This always looks weird on the out zoom. And then when you zoom in, it's fine. But I put textures, asphalt textures, slab textures down the middle. and then just band it on the outside with an actual spline object to like just make nicer lines. So we got chemical customer. This was modeled off a fruit distributor in Wenatchee. If you guys are familiar with the area, Wenatchee's in the very dry part of Washington. They're east of the Cascades. Ton of fruit, and that's what I've done to try and get inspiration for this area, especially Richland, which like didn't have a downtown in Johns. It pretty much just went right to staging, and so you got a ton of fruit and stuff, and you know, agriculture going on here. Oh, geez, wrong way. But this is one of the fruit distributors in the area. Once again, this is where it's a little clearer, where you've got the splines down and then asphalt to like kind of bracket it in the middle. But I liked how this one turned out. And then we've got a little paper plant, and then we're supposed to be pretty small in scale, and then just like a bulk receiver here of lumber, etc. So the snow sheds, I don't like the ones I have. Are there good wooden snow sheds on the download station? Because like the ones on Marias Pass are are wooden, and the ones I have are concrete, and it really bothers me. So I'm just like, oh man, you know, this is some. I don't know if this is a me thing, or a game thing, but sometimes it's like some textures I've used get updated to PBR, and I get this like weird pop through of the grid that definitely wasn't there before. Does anyone else have that thing? Or like I said, is this like a me problem when certain textures get maybe updated on the download station? I don't know. It's maybe a me thing. Thanks, RR70. Appreciate it. Yes, that's the Auburn area. This is some of the fruit fields I was talking about. And then ignore the textures over here. I gotta redo. I was just experimenting. I gotta redo that. I hate the way I hate the way it looked. This is a coal loadout. Black Diamond Mine. So the train symbols that originate here will be BDM. This structure's got to go and be replaced with something a little more current, but there's some cool industrial buildings came across. So it's a big loop track, and then you've got a shed for some big trucks, get that work done, and little Wang shed here. And then I really like this, which is just like a kit bashed, you know, underpass, because as these trains come in to load, you want to make sure you can get over to the office area, etc. So this area is pretty much done. So when you come over to the right, you've got your departure track and then your 3 inbound tracks here. A little work to do here scenery-wise, but yeah. Let me see. I think that was some other stuff. Jeez, the camera. Me and the camera tonight. Oh my goodness. I don't know what it is. I swear on roaming, like, you used to be able to zoom all the way out and see the map, and it's just being really finicky with me tonight. This is one of the differences between the model version. This is only 2 tracks here. I've made it 3. Just because operating by myself, the mountain area to the east of here gets super congested, and I needed a place to to sit trains, basically, that wasn't in Kimber. It's Kimber. I won't cover this here. I want to do a whole video on interlocking towers revisited, so I'm not going to steal content from that. Anything up here? Oh, this is not the train I'm missing, by the way. There are 2 coal trains active, so this is a different one. Ethanol train, still waiting for these. This is UP coal train, so once again, not the coal train we're missing. Yeah, this is the part I didn't program yet, so it, yeah, this is not supposed to happen, but here we are. And since we can't find that coal train, we're gonna let this, oh, jeez, you know, you gotta throw switches, everyone. You gotta throw them right. Things don't go where they're supposed to go. The Rock, 1973. Thank you. I spend a lot of time looking at photo. I have a Pinterest board for model railroad scenery in like 12 sections, and really everything I get, a lot of it's from the prototype. But when it comes to industries and scaling them down, I mean, people in the hobby and model railroading just do amazing work to get stuff down to scale. So I use a lot of that for some of the finer details that you just can't see on Google Maps. I'll cover this in another video. This this is a enhanced interlocking tower, so it's completely automated, which is nice. With all the routes and everything. Nothing coming right now, but huge thing. That would not be possible without it, because I'd be hand throwing all the trains and signals, and we'd have stuff running into each other, and it just wouldn't be good. Nathan, hey everyone. Hey, back. Colin, thank you so much. That's a huge compliment, because that's exactly what I was trying to do. No joke. It's exactly what I was trying to do. Yeah, so this whole scene here, a lot of it is like, I was trying to get Northtown vibes. With the overpasses and the city being like elevated on a ridge above where the right-of-way is, and then how they kind of just smushed the intermodal yard in, and to the area they had. So appreciate that, because that's exactly what I was going for. For those of you who don't know, Northtown Yard is BNSF. It's a huge classification yard they have in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. I don't like the way this water just never looked right to me. I gotta come back and fix it. Load testing aces. How fun. I feel like the war bonnets move around in packs in like the short haul road service. Like they end up together, and just like the old SD60Ms, which I think the BNSF's still using a lot to run from like Northtown out towards some of their North Dakota terminals. But yeah, I feel like the war bonnets move around in packs. That's just a thought. How big is this route, Nathan asks? I can measure a few ways. Definitely the biggest one I made. Let me see if this. Oh, the zoom out's working again. Yay! So this is the whole thing. So some of the stuff like WIT and other people are doing is like way bigger in terms of tiles, but for me this is by far the biggest route I've ever done. Yeah, the Rock, I need to do a water spline there and just be done with it, because it just doesn't look right. But yeah, so we go, I covered this in the last live stream, and I just hate that I didn't think about the compass direction, because this route should be straight east to west and get much better like you know, sunlight on trains, and instead I've got it north-south and then east-west, which is super annoying. And I don't want to do the thing where you like create a new route and then you paste the thing and you rotate them, and I don't want to deal with any of that. So this just kind of is what it is, but it should be directly east-west, and I didn't pay attention when I started to where the compass was, so that's how we end up with this. What a man, what a lash up. SD40 in the middle of 2 war bonnets? Crazy. Yeah, so we're gonna catch this one. I think that's gonna be it. It's getting late, and I do have 2 other children. Yeah, so hope you all enjoyed this. I've got some ideas for videos. It just takes a while to edit them and get them the way I want, and remember to actually capture video while I'm playing the game. But the live streams I personally prefer, because just find some time and get after it. Am I on the right tree? Yeah, okay, it's coming. This is not in the game. I mean, in the route. I mean, it's obviously in the game. We're in the game. But this is modeled after LaFox, Illinois, on the UP Geneva sub. Just wanted a like rural passenger station, and I haven't figured out quite how I'm going to use it, and how I'm going to use commuter trains here. But it's a cool looking shot. Back north. Don't need the bell anymore. Could use a burger right now. That could be fun. My son, who's 4, like, if he sees me on this at all, he's like, "Oh, burger! I want a burger, Daddy." Anytime he sees that drive-in. So those are the built-in sounds of the brewery. I may end up swapping out these assets in here. They look fine. It's one of Dave Snow's industries. It's the sounds bother me, and because it like overwhelms the scene sometimes. But here's that asphalt thing I was talking about again, because this is definitely paved. Modeled this, took some views. I went and looked at the Budweiser brewery in Newark, New Jersey, right off the northeast corridor out there, and modeled the parking lot and some of the access roads. So I was talking about the roads is like, if you're shipping and receiving stuff as an industry, like you've got to have roads in and out. Like that's how the trucks get out, it's how the people get out. So that's like an important part. There's another Cargill elevator. Need to replace this corn asset here. And generally detail. Some cool vistas though, then I've got some stuff filled in, but alright, so light posts have night mode. The ones on the platform? Yeah, I've got the ones on the lights on the platform back here at LaFox. Well, not LaFox, that's not really what it's called. Yeah, they have, if you're talking about these are the railroad signal ones. You can get them down the station. There's a ton of varieties. They do have like a halo that shows up. And there's, I think, 2 different color varieties. So they've 2 varieties of the pole color, and then 2 varieties of the halo light shadow cover. Yeah, I had the game volume turned down really low. Because I can't tell how loud it is compared to my voice. Y'all can hear it now, though, right? A little bit. So, well, cars. I know people don't like paying for freight cars. They won't pay for locomotives. A lot of people don't pay for anything. I purchased the Cloak Ghost articulated well cars because they are really, 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 really nice. And they have cool sounds, incredible detail. And like the freer ones, the ones you can get from Joint Rail, like they're great too. But you know, with how much I do modern intermodal, I thought they were really nice rail cars. So I have a couple of different sets of TTX and BNSF ones from site, which is still active, even though I don't think he or she is active in the community anymore, but the site's still active. And I even paid for some of the containers. I know people think that's crazy, but yeah, $2. Some nice containers. This is just going to be farmland. And that's how I'm not messing with it. It's just going to be figure out how to fill it out. I'm still flummoxed. I have no idea where that coal train went. There's no portals or anything, so I don't know. It must have derailed and I just didn't know. Something happened. I said, each time I play the session, there's always something a little off with some aspect of the automated. So, all right, we're going to go surveyor because there were some questions about the splines. Yeah, the models are good. Yeah, the JR models hold up fine. Just how much I was running intermodal trains, I saw them and I was just like, these are really nice, and went with them. The auto floods, yeah, he did the. I don't know if clip goes to he or she, but the auto floods did back were nice, and then I used the railroad mod ones, pretty much for all the coal trains I have, but they were also nice hoppers. They were done on that site. The question was about what splines am I using? Is this it? Yeah. Okay. So I don't have. Let me do the QD settings. Can I do it from here? I may have to do it on Game Start. There you go. Show. There you go. So these are for the black asphalt splines. 68213, and then colon 22116 are these. And then here, these are different. I use a couple different varieties. These are WS asphalt 10 millimeter 351022 colon 37047. Totally agree with her at 70. My dad asked me when he was here, he's like, what do you, because I do have a lot of HO stuff. I'm actually looking at some of it right now. And on the office cabinet, but he's like, when are you going to do Mono Railroad? I'm like, never. He's like, why not? I'm like, I paid $16 for one of these locomotives and I can put 100 down and it's still $16. Versus some of the model railroading is just so expensive. That's why I just can't do it full time. The newer Amazon ones, newer JB Hunt. Colin, are you talking about the skin pack that who did it? NARM dropped a skin pack, and they had Amazon and some other new schemes in there. Is that what you're talking about? Because I did add those in. Because Amazon containers are a must now if you're going to do anything with BNSF. The Rock. I got a bunch of Cloak Ghost stuff. Good. I don't mind paying $5. Yeah. The train stuff's just... I mean, the mob train stuff's out of control. They're nice, though. I mean, the scale train stuff, those guys who are also the... it's the same people that do the delay and block channel. Because I recognize his voice. They do really nice stuff, though. Really nice. I follow them on YouTube. Yeah, I integrated the skin pack from NARM, and it worked pretty seamlessly, with just a couple of tweaks. But that was nice. Of that, there was a lot of new skins, container skins in there for the 53s, which was nice. I'm just checking for a couple other asphalt splines I used. These are just I think the jointed rail generic parking lot. Yeah, just stacked like front to back, pretty much. Here, yeah, same thing. These are the asphalt splines already showed. And then did I do? No, I didn't do these over here. The chemical plant helps if you're in spline mode. Oh yeah, WS asphalt 10. Yeah. Those are the primary ones I used. I'll take a look around the route, and then the next live stream, if there's any more, I'll mention them. But those are the main ones I used to just bracket the outsides of the industries. It's not a 1-for-1 match, but you know, it's that. Yeah, just the bogies, new bogies, new sounds. The new bogey updates are pretty cool with some of the truck updates that were made. Got new project going back to the 90s. The Onondaga Cutoff, which is spelled wrong here, and I apologize for that, but started the Onondaga Cutoff. So all the track work is done already. It's all laid out. The track plan is switch for switch exactly. I think Doug, I'm going off memory now. It's like, I think it's Doug Abelese, something like that. Onondaga Cutoff, based in like the Syracuse area. You can go on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel, and a lot of people have visited it because it's a pretty sleek, really tight. I mean, his basement is tight in there, but it does a really nice job representing counter operations in upstate New York in the 90s. So brought some of my, Trains New Era stuff in here, and have been testing trains, just making sure all the signals work. But yeah, this is the, I always have like 2 to 3 projects concurrent when I get bored. I actually was using New York style signals here, the searchlights, and then realized that the scripts didn't work in Trains 19. So I had them all set up, and then realized you couldn't affect the aspect and program them in beyond Trains New Era. So I just swapped them all out for the jointed rail type Gs. But have I gotten anything from Wigwag? I feel like the answer is yes. What kind of stuff? I was on there. Sometimes I forget everyone who's out there. I recently, I think, downloaded some freeware from Wigwag. I only have bought from Cloak Ghost, Jointed Rail, and Railroad Mods. I think there's only 3 I've actually purchased payware from. There may be more, but I think that's it. But yeah, here's the yard at Onondaga. And the engine house is like way too big for the yard, but like this is the track plan. I mean, the engine house is huge because it's a mono railroad and you want to have a place with a lot of engines. That's the jointed rail. They're the first B36-7 they did, not the more recent one. And then SD38 Slug, love it. But yeah, it's just grid right now. I was able to use the search, New York style searchlights as for intermediates. They work okay as intermediates with the jointed rail signals on either side. Sometimes as you get signal creators, like the scripts don't match up and they can give like a weird aspect or a weird indication, sorry. But they're actually, the train test was actually for the signals and they work pretty well. So these are the railroad signal ones off the download station. They're all over Doug Ebelise's route. So, but yeah, all the industries are marked. All the track work is done. All the signals are down. And then I've been just test running some trains in it. So not a big route, only a couple baseboards, but it'll be nice and compact. And, you know, it just allows me to have a much smaller project and then get back to running Conrail stuff. So, and then the other thing, I have been updating the Chili sub and doing some asset swap outs, and I don't know if I'll ever re-release it in an updated version, but the, you know, little side projects. And I just need to release this and be done with it. I just hate releasing something that I can't support as like a final version because the assets may be hard to find. So more to come on the Sam Burns sub. I haven't touched it since the last live stream. But some questions. Yeah, so Colin, I'm very particular about making sure the containers picked for each railroad are accurate. So I do a lot of custom changes to the config files. The one thing I haven't done is, so Union Pacific got the Schneider contract out west here in the last year, but I haven't swapped those to UP. I'm just sticking with like 2021 container logistics railroad relationships. K&L for Steam stuff. No, I do not do any Steam run. I do follow them on YouTube because their videos are amazing. They do really cool promos on K&L. Yeah. I just couldn't back and forth. I don't know if there's anything else from the group. Kind of reaching the end of my energy level here. But I can definitely get into anything else if anyone has any questions or wants to see something. We can rock and roll. Otherwise, be signing off here in a few minutes. So let it fly now, or hold your peace until the next session. There was something. I don't remember. I think it's actually set up. The session ran pretty well considering all the issues it had in the past. Last time I had stuff running, stuff wasn't where it was supposed to be, all that. Yeah, so Eric, I don't need beta testers, but everyone will be able to get the beta version on Halloween. I've just sat on this for too long, and I'm 2 years into it, and I think enough's done that, and so much of the content is either built in or download station that I think people can enjoy it in the interim. So yeah, my plan is right now on Halloween to release a beta version on the download station. And then, but it won't be supported. So, you got to find the stuff on your own. It's just like, hey, kind of out there. And then once I get to a place where more of the content's done, I'll do some work on where stuff is and how you find it. So yeah, so the standard railroad names on the JR stuff, not all the config like files, like they don't necessarily match up with who all can carry. So like you're never going to see a hub group container on a BNSF train. You're just not. And you're never going to see EMP on a BNSF train. There's different commercial relationships, etc. So I need to do a part 2 on intermodal stuff because some people ask me like an easy way to edit the config files and get them right for each railroad. But yeah, I'm anal retentive about the container stuff. It's got to look right. And a lot of times it tells you, I covered this in a video a long time ago, it tells you if you get, you know, if you have the right containers and you're treating the containers like you would manifest, like it tells you something about the train and where it's going to and from. Even on an intermodal train, I mean, all the containers may look the same, but you know, sometimes you can tell more from that. Yeah, so Halloween, that's the plan, and no support though. Everyone's on their own. Yeah, so that's all I got. Anything else from the group? Same container config. Yeah, that's probably more. Those container configs are probably that old. That makes a lot more sense. That's a good point, Eric. Sorry, not Eric. Colin. I'm sorry. That's how you know it's late. Can't even read anymore. So, well, I appreciate everyone who joined the chat, participated tonight, watched. Hope you all enjoyed it. I love sharing the route and look forward to doing that here at the end of the month. Yeah, I will be in touch. Haven't started editing any videos yet, or I have a lot of ideas for actual videos, trackside stuff, or how-tos. Just haven't had the time. So we'll see how it goes. So appreciate everyone's time, taking time on another Saturday night and being here versus doing other things. And hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend. 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. And so I'll be signing off. Talk to y'all soon.